little more help thinking about what I'm talking about or what we're talking about when we say you need to get more specific, I want to show you one or two examples that might be helpful to you. It is so easy to assume that your reader sees what you're seeing and the details that you're pointing out have an obvious effect. And so it's common to skip over the explanation, or we might say the logical reason why a certain textual detail creates a certain effect. Let me show you just two quick examples from student papers from Essay 1 that might help you. So here's one student who, she writes, the tone Westover facilitated with her choice of syntax conveys to the reader the accuracy of the events. She, quote, waited to feel his hands around her neck, unquote. She awaited his attack as, quote, the stillness shattered and his fury rushed at me, unquote. Even her depiction of the car, quote, engine growling to life, quote, unquote, denoted violence. This passage oozes with Westover's terror. The specifically chosen words of imagery create a terrifying tone surrounding how Westover truly perceived Sean. Okay, that's enough for this example. So this is actually a pretty good piece of close reading. But I actually took a moment to write a comment to this student to say, actually, you need to go one step further. It is true that we would all probably agree, all of us reading the book, reading this part of this scene from the book, we would probably agree that we felt this sense of oozing terror. And we would also agree with this student that these images are conveying that terror. But why do these images convey the terror? It seems like maybe obvious. Maybe it seems unnecessary to actually think about how to explain that, but that's exactly what you need to do to kind of make this more objective, less about some kind of mysterious process, but actually about the language process, what's happening in the language. So, for example, you might do it this way. Imagine a reader doesn't understand why you have this response to the images. How would you explain it to that person? Well, let's see, maybe the image of somebody's hands around the neck is inherently frightening because it is an action that describes an attack or suffocation or an attempt to kill somebody, right? That's Tara doesn't say he tried to kill me, but she reports the event. He put his hands around my neck, and that's associated with attempting murder, or at least attempting to, suffocate somebody, which can lead to murder, lead to death. So this sort of implied or assumed association with this image, that could actually be stuck in here as a way of fully developing, fully explaining the process that's happening. I also think this one's a little more subtle. The student says that the engine growling to life denotes violence. That's very interesting. I think I can kind of put two and two together in my own critical thinking brain and see that she must mean something like growling is kind of from a predatory animal or something like that. It's kind of a metaphor, a growl. Who growls? Well, predatory animals like large mammals or something when they're about to attack or if they're defensive. And so maybe she's associating that metaphor of growling with the oozing of terror. So a better execution of this would say, because though she uses the word growl, she wants to convey the threatening nature of animals that are growling or predators that are growling, something like that. You have to make that extra step. Okay, I hope this helped. And good luck on your next attempt with close reading.